This is number 2 video of the series, Mavenclad for MS. This is really the postponement video. My name is Jenda Tracy, and yeah, Mavenclad is one of the newest drugs for MS, and there is a Facebook group called Mavenclad for MS. I'm promoting that because it is such an amazing resource. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you today was I was going to start Mavenclad today, but unfortunately I went on a trip and I knew that it was risky to come back, especially being on the airplane. That was one thing. So what I did was I bought a box of, actually 2 boxes of masks to protect. I thought, even before I worry about getting sick, I'm going to put together, I have a Ziploc bag of masks, I put them in my purse. And I said, I'm going to basically put one of these on while I'm on the plane, while I'm not feeling sick. So I did that, and let me tell you. Okay. Blue side out, glasses on, all of a sudden they start to fog up. There's like a little heating duct. It's crazy, right? Because as I breathe in and out, it gets hotter and hotter. When I went to the bathroom, oh, you can see my glasses fogging up. And it got hotter and hotter. When I went to the bathroom, I took off the mask. My face was completely red. However, the good news is, whoa, fogged up glasses. That's just a bit too crazy for me. The good news is that I didn't get sick. See, I'm even getting red just from that. And I'm like a menopausal woman, so I'm sweating like crazy already. And I hear Mavenclad can make you heat up like a microwave. So I'm doing this in the winter time. Anyway, so I did that. I put on the mask. It's funny, because when I was on the plane, I was feeling very self-conscious. Are people going to be looking at me and like trying to run away from me? But what happened was people would look at me and then they'd look down because they were embarrassed. They were embarrassed that I was wearing a mask, and they were embarrassed that they were looking at me. So that was the benefit. The total benefit of wearing a mask. I didn't have people look at me for very long. I was self-conscious, I have to admit, but I can say that really helped. Then what happened when I got to Vancouver was I stayed with a friend outside in the country. They had a couple of cats. I've been there many times before. In fact, I used to live there at one time. And a naturopath hooked me up so that I could not be allergic to her cats by doing a process with me. It seemed to work pretty good for the most part, but that was like 4 years ago. And now I'm sensitive to cats again. So even though I took allergy pills, I doubled up on them even. I started to develop, yes, the cough and a bit of wheezing, like that, right? I still have a little bit in my chest, a dry cough. It's very intermittent. Sometimes it happens in the morning, sometimes a little bit at night, but it's not that bad. So my intention is my pharmacist, that is the dealer for this stuff, right, told me to call the day I want to start. So I was supposed to call yesterday, but I didn't. I got busy because I just got back from my trip, and I run my own business from home, and I just was trying to calibrate into the day. So I said I'd call today, but today's my birthday, and it's like, okay, that's not going to happen. So I'm 2 days out, missing my schedule, Monday, Tuesday for Mavenclad. My hope is to start Thursday, and I see that a lot on the posts on the Mavenclad for MS website, people having to bump their dates. And I can understand. It was pretty risky for me to think that I could come back from a trip and feel rock star and take the medication. So what I've been doing is I have been using a bit of tea tree oil, and I've been putting that tea tree oil into a bowl, 3 or 4 drops into a metal bowl, and you can already smell it. It's pretty strong, and filling it with hot water and steaming. Now, when I do that, I cough my lungs out, but it is a good, I wouldn't call it, I can't remember exactly. It's kind of like an antibacterial, so it's very, it's kind of like another way to deal with something natural without using antibiotics. So I've been inhaling that. I inhaled that the night I arrived home on the Sunday, And then on the Monday morning I did it, and I was coughing a lot, and I haven't had a chance to do it today. I've had a very busy day with my birthday and everything happening, so I'm not worrying about that right now. And by the way, my name is Jen. I don't think I said my name at the beginning of this video, but that's okay. It's not about me. So, as I said, then I took I steamed with this. I put a towel over my head. I made sure there was a little bit of air coming in so I didn't burn my neck, because it can be very hot. You have to be very careful. And I was breathing through my mouth to let that clear out my lungs. Like that. Very strong stuff. So that has been helping. And so hopefully tomorrow I will be feeling, and that will be Wednesday, I will be feeling a lot better. And then I will call the pharmacist and say, here's where I'm at. I'd like to start Thursday night. What is your thought on that? So some of the things that I need to do, other than preparing for going on Mavenclad, sorry, I got itchy nose there, is to have these masks. Some people say are embarrassed or think that's silly to have the masks available. I personally will be going out and buying a few more boxes before I go on Mavenclad to protect myself. I also need to purchase, and I just haven't had time since I got back from my travels, some vinyl gloves. Now, there's different ways to recommend that. There we go, vinyl glove. Nice and easy. Different recommendations on how to take out the medication out of the box. Pharmacists will say, my pharmacist said to me, hey, just wash your hands before and after, but don't get the pill on any surface. And I'm thinking, well, if I touch the pill with my hands and I turn on the tap afterwards to wash it, I am contaminating the tap. And then when my sweetie goes to touch the tap, she could be contaminated too. So in order to keep that simple, I'm just going to wear vinyl gloves. I'll have one on each hand. I only have one right now because, as I mentioned, I don't have enough stock. And there's a key to undoing this box. So on the back side, the flap on the, technically if you were here, it's on the left side. Just like, I guess if you open it this way, left for me, right for you. And then on the back are these two areas to press these two plastic buttons. So what happens is I grab the tray. I'll try and do this to the best of my ability so you can see. And I push in those two buttons, and again I'm going to be wearing gloves on this hand when I actually do this for real life. Push in those. Oh no, I think I messed this up earlier. Okay, here we go. I press them in. Ugh. It was so easy the first time I tried to shoot this video, but it didn't go so well. Okay, then I pull it out. Now the key is there is a little hole in the plastic at the bottom, at the back. It's like a little tray. You can see that, right? There's the hole. I'll put my finger through. So the goal is to press your finger up here and then take the package in your hand. You can see that it's attached to the box. Lay it flat. I'll just stand up here and pop out one of those pills. Now I'm going to be taking 2 the first day. How it works is, depending on your weight, you might be taking 1 the first day, or 2, I don't know, some people might be taking 3, and then it depends. So for me, I'm taking 2 the first day, and then I'm taking 1 for the next 4 days. So I have to pop out 2. Now I'm not going to pop out both at the same time, because I have heard of people that they have gone flying. You can lose a pill, so you need to be very careful. Some people have a piece of paper towel or foil or something that they have underneath. I think that with the glove and this little tray I should be fine, but it could be risky. We'll find out on the first day. And I'm only going to take 1 at a time, so that if it gets messy and I'm having troubles, then I don't lose 2 of the pills. So we'll see how that goes. As I mentioned in my last video, these pills are worth, I think they go for about $3,500 each. It's about $21,000 for just this amount of medication, and that's week 1. And then I need to take another round just like this on week 5. So big bucks. Fortunately, the Merck the drug company from Germany is paying for these because in Canada they've been approved, but the government's not funding them. So that is one of the motivations why I'm taking them. I'm going to pop out one pill at a time, pop it in my mouth, drink that water, in which I will have another glass, right? I'll have a glove in that hand, and I will drink my water out of that one. So I'm not going to mix my hands with what I'm doing here, and I can always wash that glass afterwards, and I'll pop up the other one, pop that in my mouth, drink more water. Don't chew on those. They're not to be chewed. It's supposed to be swallowed right away, immediately. Not even, I don't know, I guess you could breathe first, take a breath, and then put them in. And then what I will do is, before I even close up that package, take off the glove, and then I can close up the box, just like that. The little pieces pop back into place as a safety, and then close it up. Now I could wear the glove, but that's the glove that I've used to take the pills. So I could pop off that glove, and if I wanted to, I could turn the box around this way and use the glove that was on my other hand to close it up, because that hasn't been contaminated with anything, but it gives me that extra protection. And then take the gloves off and then go wash my hands. So those gloves are going to be discarded into a safe place, right? That won't expose anybody else to them being touched. So there's a little bit of waste happening there, but in terms of safety and protection, I feel inclined to do that. That's really important to me. Now in this package is a booklet that comes with the box. I opened it up. One side, in my case, is in French, the other side is in English, and that has all the details with information on taking the pill to make sure you're taking the right doses, as well as how to open the package and the procedure on how to do this, just as I've showed you, and side effects that you can expect. So maybe in the next video I'll go through some of those side effects, and I'll also reflect upon some of the side effects that I've heard that have been happening with people in the Mavenclad group. Now one of the things I was really curious about is this drug, Mavenclad, is for people that live with relapse-remitting MS. So that's a pretty big spectrum. I mean, I'm on the low end of that spectrum, I'd say, and when I say low end, I just mean that the side effects or experiences that I have while living with MS are pretty minor compared to a lot of people with relapse-remitting MS. I live with fatigue, which is, I have to admit, a bit brutal. I'm still able to run my marketing strategy business and carry on with my life, but I've got parameters in which I can manage that, right? I think as people who live with fatigue, often learn how to strategize and cope with how we can continue on with our life in our new norm. And that seems to change for me because over the years the fatigue has increased. On the relapse-remitting scale, I've heard from the Facebook group that I keep referring to that various people have a lot more effects that they're impacted by, whether it be mobility issues as a result of MS, legs, hands, numbness, fingertips, pain. The spectrum is huge, right? I actually, if I check in with myself, I can say that I definitely have some bladder challenges there where I need to use the bathroom a lot more. Sometimes it's hard to urinate or hard to urinate all at once, so that is something I've gotten so used to that for the most part I don't even think about it anymore. And I used to have a lot of, at least once or twice a year, a really major vertigo relapse. I had a lesion, or I did, I don't know if it's still there, on the vision center of my eye, and so it's not an ear thing at all. And some of the relapses I was having early on around that were horrible. One, I had to lay down. I couldn't even go outside for a couple weeks, and after that only at nighttime because I felt so sick, and I would just listen to audiobooks. That's how I dealt with it. It was a long journey, and thankfully I haven't had that happen again. When I came off of Tecfedra, which is the only medication I've been on, and I've been really pro-natural in my life, that's been really my mission, to stay natural. When I did an MRI and I made a pact with my neurologist at the time in Vancouver that if a new progression showed up that I would go on some sort of drug, Mavenclad, not Mavenclad at that time, Tecfedra. Mavenclad didn't exist in Canada. And I was told, you know, there'd be some side effects, but nothing too major, right? Well, I was flushing like crazy just all the time. And yeah, it was really intense, but I was able to manage that okay. Some stomach issues, that kind of thing. But I didn't realize until more recently that that drug is really not a good drug to get off of. When I decided to stop it, I was recommended to go back to back from that drug to something called Gilenya, and I said no. I was just about to go on a road trip across Canada to move to Montreal, and I'm like, no way, I'm not. I'm getting off this stuff. And I had a huge rebound effect. I had about 2 or 3 relapses that happened over a window of time, but since then I've been on nothing. I haven't been on anything, pardon me. And I haven't been on anything, and I haven't had any relapses. So you might say, well, why in the heck would I go on Mavenclad? It's an intense drug with huge potential side effects. And the reason why is, number one, is it's approved in Canada. Taxpayers aren't paying it for it now. The drug company's covering it, and I've gone through a year protocol just to be accepted for this medication. So even in the knowledge that I have of what the potential side effects are, I'm just going to step up to the challenge this year, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in a place of gratitude for having access to this medication. Some people are having to save up their whole lifetime savings to get onto Mavenclad. So I'm oozing with gratitude, a little bit of trepidation and fear, and a lot of trust. And I don't know about hope, because this is a preventative medication. If it changes the fatigue that I live with, if Mavenclad does that, then that's a miracle, hallelujah, The reality is that that's not the purpose of the drug. Now, I have heard a few people that have had some improvements, and then they've had a huge, big-ass relapse. This is Mavenclad. Its purpose is to knock down the immune system, the T and B cells, and then build it back up. So that's not a pleasant thing to go through if you think about being at risk with a low immune system. However, there has been great success, I believe, with the infusion formula, and now we've got tablets. And these tablets I've talked a little bit about this in the last video, there can be some inconsistency from batches, so that might speculate why some people experience more side effects than other people. And also, I have a theory, because of course this is my fantasy, which is a horrible one in some ways, is that because I don't have a lot of MS symptoms on a day-to-day basis, aside from the fatigue, that it's very possible that my side effects from the drug will be lower. But who knows, right? I could be the biggest sufferer and have the least amount of symptoms. It's just like a mystery out there. And I wouldn't wish any of the symptoms that people are having on anyone, no matter where they are on that relapse remitting spectrum, right? We're all on this journey together. We are living with MS. We are wanting a quality of life, and we are motivated and hopeful about a product like Mavenclad. And nervous, because it's new, there's not a lot of data on it. So when you go through this protocol and you get accepted, I mean, that's a big deal. And even then, it's like, ooh, the mystery is there as to what's going to happen. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. I know I've been talking for a while. Write questions below if you have anything. I will include in there the Facebook group information, so that if you want to go to the Mavenclad for MS Facebook group, you can. It really has changed my life to have access to that information and a community that's on the same journey as me. And if you have a date set, pardon me, there you go, my cough, and something arises, don't push through it. Be sure to give yourself a couple days, call your pharmacist, talk to them about the medication. Make sure that you're starting at a time when your body is at an optimal place, as optimal as possible for you. And wish me luck. I'll be back here to show you the brochure, talk about some of the side effects, and soon you'll be with me while I take my first dose of Mavenclad. Alright, see you soon. I'm going to press that button and say goodbye.